Hello, hello. Welcome back to Big Goal Energy. I'm Bri Seeley, your hostess, coming to you today from my car. Everyone meet Aurora. Aurora and I first met in February. I did not have a car for 18 months, and it became very clear in February that I needed a car. And thank goodness, because I put 8,195 miles on her since February. Here we are, about to drive to Minnesota on Saturday and back next Friday. I may or may not be going to Napa, might cancel that trip, going to Kansas City at the end of this month, Nashville in September, New Orleans in October, driving all the places. So Aurora has been my ride or die, literally, all year. We are besties, and I would not be getting through 2025 without her. So today, I wanted to talk about something. I'm hoping to take this podcast in a little bit more of a different direction and I felt this for a while, and you'll see as I talk through the episode, like there are some things that I've known need to shift or change for a while, but I haven't fully known, like I know what the old is, and I know that there's a new calling to me, but I don't necessarily know fully what the new is yet. And so welcome to the messy middle with me. This is what it looks like to evolve in real time. And so my hope moving forward for the next who knows how long is to do some evolving in real time with you.
You were never meant for a small life. You have bold ideas, audacious dreams, and visions that keep you up at night. But the truth is, big goals don't come with step-by-step instructions, and success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from becoming more. Welcome to Big Goal Energy, a podcast for high-achieving women who are done shrinking, striving, and second-guessing, and are ready to defy reality in pursuit of the life they actually want. I'm your hostess, Bri Seeley, goal architect, subconscious strategist, and your permission slip to want what you want. Join me as we go beyond the surface level success to explore the mindset, identity, and inner work required to bring your biggest, most delulu goals to life. This is your space to be seen, to be expanded, and to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Let's get into it.
So let's talk a little bit more about this personal evolution that I've been going through. And I got a little bit more information about it yesterday. And so, yeah, I really feel compelled to share it with all of you because the worldview that I live through is that things are shifting right now massively in our world, in our collective, even in our universe. And as much as there are a lot of people fighting to go back to how things have been in the past, first of all, that's not happening. And not only is it not happening, the game that we're currently playing that we know as life isn't even the same game that existed back then. Like the current quote unquote game of life is not even the game we were playing last year. Like so much is changing so rapidly in our world, in our collective, in our universe, that how we've approached things in the past is not going to work any longer. And I am proof positive of that. So what I feel like right now is that I know my old language. I know how I've done things in the past. I know how the world has worked in the past. I know how I've gotten results in the past. And this year, I knew that everything had changed. And yet I don't fully know what I'm moving into or what we're moving into or what the collective is moving into. I don't know what's on the other side of all of this. And it makes it really, I guess I'll use the word messy, because I've been waking up every single day this year being like, I literally don't know what to do. Because I've done all of the things. Last year was my biggest year in business. I've tried to do all the things this year that worked last year, and none of them worked this year. So in June, I went to Prescott, Arizona to house sit for this amazing cat named Marnie in the hills of Prescott. If you saw any of my Instagram stories or anything, beautiful view, beautiful sunrises every day, beautiful sunsets every day, hummingbird, this amazing cat, all these things. I also elected to go to Sedona I went multiple times, but the one time I went to do a psilocybin journey. And what's interesting, if you choose to work with medicine in that way, is that it doesn't just work when you're taking it. The energy of the medicine begins to work when you say yes to it. And it continues to work thereafter as well. The woman I worked with said that she usually sees her medicine journeys work for about a year to 2 years after the journey ends, quote unquote ends, right? So I decided at the beginning of June to do this journey. I did the journey on June 15th. I got to Prescott, I think it was June 8th or June 9th. And I was meditating a lot leading up to it. I was journaling a lot leading up to it. And what struck me, it was probably the Tuesday before the journey, which was on a Sunday. I had this insight come through that basically it was this sensation of feeling pushed, and that how I have created and how my ambition has shown up in my life in the past has been me being pushed. I felt like I was being pushed. I'll talk about this, I'm sure, a little bit later as well. But when I think about the parable of the rabbit and the tortoise, I was like the rabbit. I was running and running and running and running and running, but it felt like something external for me that was like pushing me into this running. And what I realized in this meditation, because I felt a different sensation thereafter, and I realized the sensation was coming more from like my rib cage, my solar plexus area. And it was like I was being pulled. It was like I was being compelled. I was being inspired. I was moving in a different way. So in the past, it felt like I have to do this. I have to take these actions. I have to get these results. And it was literally like pushing. Now, if it was me being pushed or me doing the pushing, I'm not quite 100% sure. But I got to feel the other experience, which was not pushing and not running and not forcing and not hustling, but rather being pulled, being inspired, being compelled, having a vision that was so inspiring and so moving that I had no choice, but I can literally physically feel it in my body right now, like this pull of like desire and wanting to do this thing and being excited about building something in a really new way. And I was talking with one of my healers yesterday, and I was like, I know the old language so well. I know what it's like to push and be pushed. I know what it's like to run. I know what it's like to hustle. And even as much as I'm like anti-hustle, there was still this element of scarcity and of lack around, like, I have to do this. I don't have a choice. And again, like, I'm clearly in a personal evolution, but I also believe that the world is experiencing a collective evolution right now. Every time I open up TikTok or Instagram, and all the women in my life are basically refusing to go back to operating how we've operated in the past. I say all of this, one, to hopefully, if you're also in that camp, just kind of normalize a little bit that like you're not crazy and you're not alone. And yes, the world is changing. And yes, we are going through a massive evolution right now. And, I feel like I'm on like the front line, that I'm at the beginning of the wave out there riding it into the vast unknown to begin to understand, like, how do we move through this? Because one of the frustrating parts, and what I talked with my healer about yesterday, I told her yesterday, I was like, I am getting so fucking bored, because I wake up every day and I'm like, what are we going to do today? And I've tried to make the plans, and I've tried to build the strategies, and I've tried to do the things. And one, if I can get myself to do those things, I cannot execute on them. And two, for the most part, I can't even bring myself to do those things anymore right now, which, I'm a strategist. That is how my brain works. I put together plans. They're fucking brilliant plans. They're plans that work. And I have, like, I've got nothing right now for myself. I'm still able to do some strategizing for other people. But then also, too, I'm like, well, if I'm not able to strategize or be in strategy in my business right now, is it of integrity to be telling other people to strategize and be in strategy and all these things as well? I'm still working with clients. I am still doing those things. I think the word that came up in my healing session yesterday was alignment. And what's really interesting is I've been tapping into this because she said to me, she's like, it is not alignment in the way that you've experienced alignment in the past. And I've really been sitting with this since yesterday, thinking like, well, what does that mean? And what's the difference between how I've perceived or approached or engaged with alignment in the past versus how I'm going to engage with and interact with and be in relationship with alignment moving forward? And the word that keeps coming to me, and this might be part of that pushing feeling too, is like my willpower. And this healer has told me many times in the past, like years and years and years ago, I've been working with her for 5 years. She was like, your willpower is very strong. You want something, you make it happen. Like that is how you have operated. And your willpower is like not existent right now. And even if it was, it wouldn't work. So you'd be literally just burning your wheel, burning your rubber. I've been thinking about alignment and how many of us decide we want something and then we put our nose to the grindstone, we will it into existence, we manifest it, right? We like force ourselves into becoming the person that has the thing. And she even said to me last night, she's like, most of the manifestation stuff that's on the market is agenda based. Like it's not actually what alignment is. It's not actually what manifestation is. And so I say all of this to tell you that I don't have the answers. I've been exploring this all year. I think I have some insights. There have been 2 or 3 things that have like really helped me in the last month start to re-engage the wheels of movement and start to kind of re-engage my vision and my action in the world. But I don't have all the answers. And I think this is part of what the world is moving into is like, technically no one has all the answers. And there are people out there that will tell you that they have all the answers because I know, I get it. It makes you feel safe. It makes me feel safe when someone's like, oh, I know exactly what you need to do. It makes us feel safe. Unfortunately, it's a lie. And whether or not they consciously know that they are lying, I'm not going to get into that. They may or may not consciously know that they are lying, but no one has all the answers. And there is not one pathway to take. Personally, I've amassed so many tools under my belt to be able to move through the world in the way that I do. And what's interesting is not one of those tools is the tool. Every single time I go to face a new evolution, I'm like, okay, cool. Like what do I need right now? What do I need to pull in? Where do I need to be? How do I need to move? Where do I need to place my focus and my attention? And the answers to those questions change every single day. And from what I could tell in talking to my healer yesterday is like, this is kind of the world that we're moving into. We're moving into more of a moment by moment by moment by moment world. And so my questions that come up around that are, okay, cool. Like I'm good to be in the moment. Like obviously, clearly I'm here with you right now in the moment doing this thing. How do I then string together those moments to have like one cohesive outcome? In the past, I've been very good at being like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want. This is what I want to create. And what's interesting is that some of those ambitions haven't changed. I still very much want to be a 7-figure business owner. And in the past, I've sat down and been like, okay, that's my goal. Like, how are we going to get there? What are the steps we're going to take from here to there to get to that destination? And from what my healer was saying to me yesterday is that it's less about getting to a destination and more like coming from that destination. And so my questions still revolve around if one moment I'm here and the next minute I'm there and the next minute I'm there and I'm like all over the fucking place. How are all of those moments then stringing together to bring me to that destination? And maybe it's not mine to know. Maybe it's not my job to know. And maybe my job is just to be present in these moments and allow these moments to string together, knowing that there's something out there that is vastly bigger than I am, that knows what I want. It knows where I want to be. Its job is to help me get there. I know this has gotten a little woo and a little esoteric, but I'm just trying to be open and honest and vulnerable just about some of the questions and the inquiries that I'm currently sitting with in my process of evolution. because what I know, and I wrote this in my journal yesterday, was like, I don't know how to get myself back, like get back to myself. And I literally wrote that and was like, I know. Like, that's not actually the direction we're going in. I don't think I'm ever going back to the Bri that I have been pre December 2024. I don't think I'm ever going back to her. But I also don't know who the Bri is that is firmly planted or rooted in this evolution. It feels a little bit like purgatory. It's like, okay, the past is over here to my left, the future is over here to my right. And I'm just kind of like floating in the middle right now, being like, what do I do every day? How are we showing up? Now, what's interesting is I still have people coming to me. I still have clients coming to me. I'm getting ready to launch a new program next month, which oddly enough is going to be around all of this. Is like, how do we as business women stop with the pushing and stop trying to manipulate our realities and force them into being something that we've decided is acceptable? How do we be pulled by our ambition, or like compelled by or inspired by our vision, rather than trying to force our way to our vision? In August, I'll be enrolling people in Claim Your Ease Era. And I would invite you to come join me if it feels compelling, if you're in the midst of this inquiry as well. I'll be teaching people what I've learned over the last 9 months in my journey, and, the questions I asked myself and how I've started learning to reignite that flame and be pulled by and compelled by rather than pushed by, and really learning how to move through the world in a brand new way, specifically probably related to business or your ambition or your big goal. But that's the part that's so interesting to me, is that my goals haven't gone anywhere. My goals haven't changed. But how I'm approaching those goals and how I'm getting to those goals has to change. It has to change. I'm not the same woman. We don't live in the same world. And the way that I've worked for 40 years, like it doesn't fit anymore. It doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit the world. It doesn't fit how time is moving, how energy is moving. It doesn't fit any of those things anymore. So I don't have a choice. And maybe you can relate, where you're like, yeah, how I've moved through the world in the past just not working anymore. If you feel resonant with this and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to approach my goals in a new way that builds me up rather than takes away from me, depletes me, pushes me, forces me into doing things, would love for you to join us. So if it feels resonant, I'll be sending out invitations. If you want an invitation, shoot me an email, Bri at briseeley.com, briseeley.com. Would love to invite you on this journey. I think it's going to revolutionize the world, because especially as women, when we are moving from, and I say these words and they have a different taste to me. They have a different flavor to me. And hopefully you can feel the taste and the flavor that I'm feeling in them. When more women in the world are moving from our purpose, and we are moving from our alignment, and we are moving from our inspiration, our excitement, our energy, I think the entire world is going to change. So if you want to be on that journey, shoot me an email, come join us. It's going to be a 6 or 8 week experience. And we're gonna learn a whole new cadence, like learning a whole new language. I've been learning it, and now I'm gonna teach it to you too. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna hop into that coffee shop behind me, get some work done. I have a call with the Foundry members in a little bit to do a work block, and just wishing you a really beautiful day. I hope you find some ease today. I hope you find some inspiration, and I hope you get to tap in to your true self without the forcing, without the agendas, without the manipulation, without all that stuff. I think this is where the real magic lies, y'all. But TBD. All right. Thanks for joining me for another episode. I'll see you all again very soon.
If this episode lit something up in you, share it. Text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or leave a review, because big goal energy is meant to be felt far and wide. And if you're ready to go deeper, explore the tools, hypnosis sessions, and support, because your vision deserves more than hustle, join us on the Big Goal Energy app by visiting your app store and typing in Big Goal Energy. Your vision, your goals deserve alignment, ease, and your fullest self behind them. Until next time, trust yourself, dream bigger, and never forget, you are here for greatness.